the clear cut, on what I can learn online and what I cannot learn online. Okay, at least as of now, as of today, because like in so many things, things change. Go back here because I had time to place to write down the information, and I'll give you the rationale of these. Okay, so this is not a training session. This is setting up the boundaries for the stuff that we can learn online and why should we do it. Know me, my name is Gonçalo. I'm the head instructor of FAKM USA Krav Maga. I lead the training in Morris Plains, and I have something like, I think it's 30 years or 35 years of experience in martial arts, if you count from the moment I started training when I was 10, karate, and then I'm now training. I started training karate at 10, and then started Krav Maga in 2006. The fact that I've been traveling all over the world has helped massively to be on my own and learn on my own. Slower sometimes, so videos are important. Training by myself as well, and also learning from the feedback from video reviews. And I always remember this. During many years, we had only the option of training with a student or training with a teacher or master, until someone invented video, and then from that moment onwards, we could see things. We could effectively see. Now the problem is feedback. I'm going to start with that. So feedback. When you see a video, you don't see many of the angles. You also don't see the emotional side, the tactical side. What's the tactics behind? We can leverage that. We can think about that. But I'll be very specific. Krav Maga, or our self-defense work, lives from the interaction between one or more training partners, and this is a physical interaction, getting grabbed, pushed, pulled, choked, these type of things, punched, all kinds of mechanical actions. So a limb or several limbs go in our direction, or an object being thrown, pushed, pulled, exploded, something like this. So this, without a partner, that interaction doesn't exist. So it's hard to learn on that, very hard. The second thing, we also do not have the teacher or the instructor to correct that, because working as a partner, you got this third eye in here that acts like a witness, and then can looking into the pattern of what you are doing, compare that to the standard, and then compare that to what he believes it is the best way to do something, the more correct way, the one that he was taught, and then make the feedback existing. That is very hard only if we only do, if the video is only sending information to you. You don't have the partner, you don't receive the feedback because you don't know where you're navigating to. Now, things have changed a lot. With things like when we can see someone doing something, we can give feedback on that. When we can see someone doing a task with another person that he starts working on the task with another person, we can give feedback on that, so the teacher can provide feedback. It's on the distance, and this can also be postponed. You can record videos, send to the teacher responds back. It's not the same thing as the class, yes, because on your side there is only one person training with you, but if there were more, if you could capture more angles, then it would be possible. Second, changes, feedback from the teacher is limited to what he sees. He doesn't feel. It's very hard to feel from a video. And feel is many times that 1 second response that the teacher can have and see to propose to the student. That's very hard to do. That is more of a direct feedback as the task is occurring. So that Those are things, so that physical, emotional, and even the social stimulus. And I bring this into two because when a certain partner trains with you, you feel a different way, and you also interact a different way. You do the same to him. So those things are very hard without a partner. Very, very hard. Reason why I'm updating the training, the online training, to bring what I call emotional hints and physical hints. It is, if you get grabbed, what you feel. You feel that someone entered my comfort zone. How do I feel internally? And how do you mechanically understand where the forces are being applied? Two different things with from the same source. That's a way to, from what's in my mind, what's the experience in here that we collect, what are the hints that tells you this is happening. And I do know that if we can imagine it, we can feel it. If we can feel it, we can do it. That's very clear. There is neuroscience behind this enough to let us know. Having this said, and if you have a basic understanding of the techniques, let's say by video, by online course, by knowing the image, by trying it, because we need to build that muscular to brain connection, then I'm able to do conditioning circuits that mimic or enhance Krav Maga. So we can do push-ups from the side, extending these mimics. We can do specific conditioning that enhances our capability for life, but also for Krav Maga. We can have also repetition of a lot of the gross motor gestures in the programs, striking, falls, anything falls with careful, but at least squatting down, shin down, anything that is using a lot of body, okay? Gross movements, like similar to what you walk, okay? A fine movement is writing, a gross writing. It allows, you need to effectively know the standard, as a small piece of, as a piece of paper, and the task needs a lot of finer coordination. But gross movements are okay. Walking, moving up the stairs, getting up, running, pushing, pulling, both hands. Those things we can effectively repeat, and providing that we have feedback later, it works. Mind conditioning, meditating on the practice and meditating on the feelings of the practice and moving through those stages. Breath, from breath, emotions, from emotions to overall witness. So there is a lot of work that we can do on there. Having the ability to have personal challenges and goals, setting up routines that we can do, that we can execute, it could be a physical routine, it could be a number of techniques that we do, where we leverage, for example, in my case, the hand that needs to come up when you strike. That's a routine. Do it many often, and oftentimes it will work. Can do this. So that's putting up a challenge, usually a hard task to do, and then putting some goals on the day-to-day. So and using the Krav Maga program as, this is my goal. I'll do this set of techniques. I'll do the shadow boxing for the yellow belt. I'll do the shadow boxing for the green belt. These are specific goals that can be applied. Other things that we can do, for example, I insist a lot on what happens if you fall. Learning how to fall, learning how to get up. And these guys, it's important because in the US, the statistics from the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, show that there are more people dying from falls than from shots or for gun threats. So if you want to invest on something, the ground routines that we have are really good, really good. They are challenging for grown-ups, but they are really important. They'll also be helpful for later when we connect the ground routines, the rolls and the falls and the get-ups. and with the way to manipulate when someone is on the ground, okay? Either being ourselves, so I manipulate the attacker is down, or I need to move up. It's missing this part, that is when I move from the standing position to here. That's more of a wrestling or throwing someone down or being thrown to the ground. Those parts are also possible to train, but they are more hard because the ground has less, again, it's more easy to confine our work in there. So again, so this till here. Imagery and self-control. This is a really important thing because we know that all high-level athletes, it's not me, I was one of them, but all amazing athletes have worked with imagery. They see themselves doing the task, and also even there is lots of interesting studies on if you are able to perform the task in your mind, walk through the steps, you have good body awareness, knowledge of the task, knowledge of the failure points, you start solving them in the mind so that it then translates to the body. Okay. This is really important because you reenact in your head what you are doing so that you are able to translate from your head to the body. Okay, so and that reenactment, that emotional reenactment, that imagery reenactment, and then that emotional reenactment, looking into the perfect execution and also on the lines that might be failure points, is helpful to do, so that we can do that without being online, training by ourselves. And then obviously finding what's working for you and what's not working in terms of routines. I call it flow, fun, and exploration. Flow is, this thing works really well. I do 2 minutes of shadow boxing. I do 2 minutes of on the ground. I like to lift weights. This gets me on the flow. I don't even see the time passing. Here it goes. I have fun with that. This is a really important thing because it should be associated. Fun brings a lot of good endorphins up and moves you to execute this more and more. And the exploration. The exploration is going a little bit more ahead than what you have. For example, in Krav Maga, we do need to look into if the attacker is here and I am here. The first line is this one, but we might need to go above, under, to the side, backwards. It will be according to his response if we if we make the defense on the counter. So there is a lot that we can do, a lot that we can do as we approach these times where we need to train by ourselves. If we have our family with us, we can dedicate micro training, micro movements, micro tasks to work with them. And then we can put all the other tasks, the ones that need the feedback from working with the partner, to the class. This also means that now we have two tools, ourselves and the others. And we always had them. So there is a lot that we can do as when we stay at home, and then we have our routine to work at home. I want to be this very clear. We have many conditioning things that allows us what cannot be done. The event of online training, online feedback, and soon the ability to see and sense from whoever is around us, but that's going to be next. It's going to take away a lot of the impediments of learning self-defense. And remember, as Amy said, Krav Maga is a simple thing. It needs to be inside our lives to help us to prevent, and in case of need, help us to act. So this is the time for acting, and we can act on these 9 points: conditioning, circuits that mimic and enhance Krav Maga, repetition of gross motor gestures, mind conditioning, personal challenges and goals, ground routines, or again it goes back to the physical dimension, imagery and self-control, emotional physical reenactment, flow, fun, and exploration. So all of these can be done using our online platforms. I can make this very clear.